Late evening to you all, and thank you for joining us again for another race. Tonight, for round 3 of Season 1 F1 2001 will start shortly. Of course, just a quick recap while we're still waiting. Currently, championship leader at the moment is Gav Peak, but of course, still early days, and the point difference is not that much. Guys are very closely put the pace together. Right, here we go. Qualifying 1. Let's see who's going out first today. Of course, as always, just to remind all of you, those who watch, feel free to post some comments. Please join in the action, and where you can, please give us some information on Tier 2. Oh, thank you, Steph. Love you too, my boy. Please, some info there on Tier 2, please. Yeah, that I know, thank you. Yay, all points. Agreed, nice. Steph, at least you're getting points. So another podium there, hopefully. Let's see how it goes. All good luck to you guys in Tier 2 as well. Right, we got the Haas going out there. Little piece can't wait. He wants to get some time on. Thanks, Steph, we'll appreciate that. But of course, just send my strongs to all the rest of the guys. Let's hope that's also a good one. And let's hope the weather plays well with tonight as well in both tiers. Of course, just to remind everybody out there, from last week onwards, from last week we actually started second tier now as well. So a lot of names that you previously would have seen racing here will basically be now in tier 2. Hopefully going forward we will also be able to stream that race. Of course, both races running concurrent on a Friday evening. Right, here we go. It's little piece coming around for the last few corners just to prepare himself for his first hot lap. And with that said, Force is also now on our out lap here. Right, here we go, little piece. Okay, but taking a bit of a corner there, but of course still keeping it together. See Ivan also now going out. Of course, now there's a few tight corners coming up here, of course leading into the famous SS curves. And then of course we going into the stadium section, or otherwise called the furrow. Here we go, entering the furrow section now. Around the final corner onto the home straight, approaching the start finish line. Looks like it was actually still out lap, no time showing. Hello Wes. Yeah, don't worry, we all hope for that. The more the merrier. Would like to see you back more permanently. Can't wait. Right, there we go. Cameron, actually, Mr. S2001 now sitting the first one to set the time, 1:16.1. Just want to do this quickly. Yeah, of course, Camby on the Hypersoft. I see little PCs actually is out there on the Supersoft. I went out on the Ultrasoft, so a bit of different strategies early on. Yeah, Wes, it's unfortunately one of those things. Unfortunately, you can't control. Life does happen. But you know what? Wherever you have time available, you're always welcome. The more the merrier. With that said, little piece now goes quicker on those super soft. 1:16.15. Hey, several guys now out on out laps. Mr. 2000, AD77, and Cameron coming into the pits now. Yeah, pretty much everybody out except now for Cameron that came back into the pits, and Y is still in the pits. Soft. Of course, Ivan and the Toro Rosso teammate to Peak, which finished the previous two races on the podium. And with that said, TnB DW goes fastest on the Hypersoft over 1:15.7. Ooh, Ivan going wide. Is he stopping? No, he's continuing. That's the spirit, Wes. Of course, you don't need to be on the track to support. You support wherever you can. Looks like Ivan just might have pulled over actually for his teammate there, because obviously Peak being on the faster lap. And Jay Fernandez retired. Well, there was a yellow flag out, so that's possible. But there might have been some damage to that car. Of course, way too early for him to retire and not set a time. Okay, we still just got Wise in the pits. Of course, a couple of guys returning after setting some times here. Still waiting for the rest of the field to post some times. Yellow flag out. Okay, now disappeared again. Okay, looking at Peak. Let's see what type of time. Just finished sector 1, starting sector 2. To see what type of time he can actually put together here. Also on the Hypersoft. Wow, Steph, that's actually awesome time. At the moment, that's actually quicker than what Quali 1 is. Well, with that said, here we go. Quickest time in Quali 1 now is 1:15.5, which is posted on Hypersoft. I take it Ronald was also on Hypersoft when he did that lap. Very close actually, 1:15.5 to 1:15.6. And Peak, there we go, 1:14.7. Almost a whole second on Vino. Also on the Hypersoft. Wow. Peak. One's getting the feeling that this will be enough for him. He will definitely, well, in fact, all these guys will actually go through to the next qualifying session. So it's no use actually sacrificing or, taking the gamble to put the car on risk. It's just to get some time, maybe just feel the track a bit and then just play it safe, get into the next session when it starts, when it really matters. With Jay Fernandez out, of course, it's 11 drivers, so it's only one that will be eliminated in Q2. So no real need. Oh, and Peak this time returning the favour to Ivan. He this time go off the track to let his teammate through, who's on the faster lap. Some nice teamwork here with the Toro Rossos. DW now down to 1:15.4. Then Vino in the 1:15.5. TnB Force actually came in the 1:15.9, and Rob also with 1:15.9. Of course, that's for guys currently in the 1:15s, except for Peak in the 1:14. Definitely, in this max, that was one hell of a lap from Gav. But of course, this is still early days. When it really matters is, of course, a Q3, and of course to get through to Q3, which tonight should be no real problem with only 11 drivers remaining. Okay, just driving a bit with Mr. 2000. Okay, AD 77 currently on a 117.3, but again, that's just with the super softs. I would feel that's not really too concerning for him. That's just to get a feel for the track, of course, and get some time going. Because we will see as qualifying progress what he can really do. Still waiting for IS to set some time if he's going to come out. Of course, even if he doesn't post a time, he should peak through to Q2 anyway. Yeah, Wes, good question, eh? But yet he's been around. Of course, he didn't get a lot of track time in the first race because he went out quite early. But contact here with between a couple of cars, he missed out. Last week a bit of contact with DW, but he was still there for majority of the race. But of course, he didn't have lots of camera time last week, of course, except for that incident. But he's been around. Right, in this whole 4 section here, last corner leading onto the home straight. No, he decides he's going to come in. Well, 6.5 minutes to go, that should be pretty much it. I don't see any guys really wanting to risk the car too much at this stage. Of course, if you make contact, you're out and that's it, qualifying over. As it is already at the moment, Jay Fernandez will start in that last place. Of course, just for those guys that like the trivia and information. Thanks for the update with Nismax. I was wondering about that. Thanks for the weather update. So that would be interesting. All out racing for whole 100% race distance. Of course, for those of you to join us tonight for the first time. Right, getting back to a bit of trivia about this track. Of course, for those of you who don't know. Okay, there we go. Internet is banging up again. Can someone just give me a shout out? Everybody can still hear, everybody can still see this feed. If someone can just give me a heads up, please. Of course, it's always a bit concerning when you get that message, internet, and of course, lots of guys have been complaining about internet connections today. Thanks, Nasmax, appreciate it. So we're all still all good. Right, getting back to the trivia. Of course, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez is actually built in a public park. It was built in 1959. And the circuit actually hosted its first F1 Grand Prix in 1962, but of course at that stage it was a non-championship race. The following year the Mexican Grand Prix became a full World Championship event. Right, there we go. Rob now currently in second position, 115.2. Voss, okay, I think that should be maybe, but there's a yellow flag. Maybe he just decided that is enough. Don't need to go risk anything because he's through anyway. The AD is also now down to 116.6, but now on the Hypersofts. But I don't see these guys really pushing too hard now because it's too early. No need to at this stage. Now we might see more yellow flags if the guys actually just decide to retire on track. Oh no, Steph, no man. Quite contradicting weather in the different tiers. Of course, the previous race was the same story. What you see in the one is not what you get in the other. Interesting. Okay, just over 3 minutes left. Just waiting for this time to run out. Okay, we got actually wires out of the pits. Okay, also the super softs, really this is just to get some, just to feel where the grips is, experiment a bit, feel the track out. Nothing serious at this stage. Ooh, that was a nasty one. Of course, not happy with that entry. Yeah, here we come into the pits, the abandoning that lap. Okay, pretty much everybody's in the pits again. We got Ivan currently out there, and we got DW out there as well. Cameron, I don't see anyone else bothering to go out now. It looks like DW is just also just using it to feel the track, get some few practice laps under his belt. Of course, we'll see as the race unfolds, of course, for what this all means. Right, yeah, onto through the last corner. Yeah, onto the home straight we go. Yeah, no, DW is just really making the most of the time remaining just to get a couple of more laps. There we go, he actually decides that's enough. Okay, that's his session gone. We got wires going out again. Gonna give it another go. This time well, it shows super source on the car, but actually shows hypers. Yeah, it shows hypers on the indicator. Yeah, Nesmax also decided enough is enough. Most of these guys obviously will now just look forward to the next qualifying session. As I said already, it's no point in risking the car at this stage. Looks like the SS will test a couple of guys tonight. Right, let's see what wires do. Yeah, this time he's actually going through onto the home straight to complete the lap. Actually, no, it looks like he's actually starting his hard lap only now. But of course, that will be his one and only lap, with time expiring here now. And he and little piece of a guys out currently on some laps. Everyone else finished. Nice, Steph. Top 3 in quali. Nice. Keep it there. Well done, boys. You're actually not too far apart. Nice and close. That will be an interesting race. See little pieces coming through the stadium section now, or aka Foro. Of course, I'll just give you a bit of more information about that later. There we go, and Little Piece actually makes it count, and he beats Gavin's time by, wow, it was actually 0.3, 114.4. Left it really till the last moment. This is going to be interesting. Bring on Q3. But of course we still have to go through Q2 first. But it's going to be interesting when it comes to that pole shootout. And there we have it. Qualifying one done. With Little Piece, Gavpeak and Mr. 2000 making up your top 3. Only casualties here is Jay Fernandez, who didn't manage to post any time. Right, just waiting for Q2 then to get underway shortly. Right, here we go. Q2 is about to get underway. Right, we're hearing some engines starting up there. We'll just see who's going to be the first one out. Here we go. It looks like, oh, there we go. Here's a Merc. We got Toro Rosso. Alright, Cam's also going out. Here comes Little Piece in the ass. Actually, a couple of guys going for it this time. Actually, no, here comes Little Piece in the ass. AD was the first one of the ass first time, not Little Piece. Okay, quite a number of guys this time going out. We just got Vino, Nismax, Wires, Gavpeak and DW still in the pit. That was an awesome lap from Little Piece. But Gavpeak actually set the pace there at 1:14.7 and just Little Piece coming with a 1:14.3 right. Now that's brilliant, brilliant. This is going to be really, really interesting tonight. There we go, Ivan going out, so both Toro Rossos actually should be out because I just saw another one going out. Here we go, there's Gavpeak. Ivan is already out, so he just got the two the other way around. So Vino in the pits, Nismax in the pits, Wires in the pits, as well as TnB DW. On board here with RZDV 2000 coming around. Yeah, here we go, gone to the home straight. And off he goes onto his first lap. And we got a yellow sector, a yellow flag there, yellow sector, sector 3. No, looks like it's been cleared. No casualties. Here comes Ivan now down the straight, approaching the first corner. But definitely say I absolutely love the colours of these Toro Rossos. For me personally, they actually look better than the main Red Bull cars. Just like what we did with the colour scheme. Right, just still the four pit sitters, if I can call them that for now. Everyone else pretty much out on getting some times. Rob now coming up to the stadium section. Onto the final corner, onto the home straight. He came in with a 1:15.9. But of course Rob here on the super salt. Looks like the plan, at least for now, is to go for the longest stint at the start of a race. Of course that could work out nicely for him going on. It just should his race not be compromised at the beginning. Cam in a 1:16.1, but of course he's on the softer tires, ultra soft. A Little Piece coming in a 1:15.6 on the super soft. Voss 1:15.7, but he's on the softer tire again. Of course, just a reminder for all of you folks watching out there, please feel free to post some comments, share in the interaction. And of course, if you have any other information about Tier 2, of course I have staff. Anyone else, please feel free to share. Okay, we've got Wires here showing us an outlap. Ooh, running wide there. Again, we got a yellow flag, sector 3. Ooh, Voss How did you keep that out of a barrier there? Yo, contact, but wow, nicely done to make sure the car didn't get destroyed there. Just slight contact there, of course, damage to that front wing, but the car at least remains intact and he lives to fight another day. Of course, he will definitely be going into the pits here. A couple of guys returning to the pit now, and as I said, we've got Ivan on his outlap, AD's on the outlap, Nismax now on the outlap. And Force retired. Obviously, yes, he returned, he's got some damage, but not fatal. So I would say he feels pretty comfortable with his time, so he feels he's done enough that he will definitely go through to the qualifying free. And here we go, Gafpick of course coming in with his fast laps again, a 1:15.2 on the Hypersofts. It's just a bit quiet for the moment, but there is a few guys out there. Of course just building up towards their lap times. Okay, and we got another yellow flag in sector 3. Looks like sector 3 is for one testing. Okay, now it's been cleared. Of course sector 3 follows just after those S's. Okay, taking a bit extra on that corner, but of course just a bit of dust, nothing serious. But of course just to remind all you guys out there, rules of course with TnB is that corner cutting is on strict. So of course doing that way too many times, of course there will be some time penalties. Jared, that's obviously Toto Wolff you're talking about, right? Mr. Mercedes himself. Now that guy's quite good at it. No, I'm joking. I also heard that, of course, I didn't have the privilege to see him in action yet, of course, with the two different tiers going on and, of course, both tiers happening at the same time. Of course, I would love to see him in action, so hopefully we can get that tier also streamed in the not too far future. Wow, Bluxenby coming in. Oh, and Bala's actually decided to catch a wake up. Nice. Thank you for the update, V-Staff. Appreciate it. Nah, it doesn't matter. No sweat. It's the end of the day. Bluxenby is there. Nice to see him back in action. Nah, don't worry about that, Jared. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Bigger end of the day is as long as everybody enjoys what they're doing. There's no use in playing the game if you don't enjoy it. After all, you must have fun. That's why most of us do this. It's all about having fun. Okay, I see a lot of different tyre fear tonight. Actually, here as well in tier 1, Staffy, same story. I mean, everybody going completely different strategies here. So, it would be interesting come race time. Of course, it can go terribly wrong, it can play in your favor. It all depends how your race unfolds. Because so easily you decide to go for the long stint and yet your race gets buggered up on the first lap. And good evening to you too, Mr. Majestic 2001. I hope you're keeping it clean, keeping it safe tonight, and I hope you get some good points. Oh, okay. Maybe, you never know, go for the harder tire, long stint, start at the back, play it safe, you never know. And of course also his first race, you don't know the drivers, also try to feel the guys and see where it happens. You never know. Well, Staff, if he's out there, he didn't post a time, yes, he actually can. So my bet is he actually decided to go at the back of the grid, and he's going to start on the harder tyre. He's going to go for a longer stint. Try to stay away, keep it clean from all troubles into that first corner. Of course, so easily the race can be lost in the first corner. You never win it in the first corner. So I would say yes, that's actually not a bad idea, because he doesn't know his opponents. He never raced with you guys before. So yeah, let's see how that unfolds. No, no, no. Mr. Majestic, there's not. If you want a room, room a wall. And besides, there's no new guys around you. That's all tier 2. Well, and if I say new, it's of course, it's not the first race new. They've been here for a few races now. Staff, don't worry. It's one of those things that happen. On one day you do it, one day you don't. It just happens. But I mean, besides, if you get a clean getaway where you are now, you're going to be in any way happy with your strategy. So it's all just how it works out. That's how the first few laps go. I mean, it doesn't mean his strategy is going to work for him, because it can still backfire. It all depends on that very important start and that run into that first corner. Because so easily, guys, as racers are messed up into that first corner. Ooh, Mr. Majestic, you're looking for a fight now, ne? Don't, please, let sleeping dogs, let them be, please. That's probably true, Steph. You know what, you never know about your opponent, especially if you see him for the first time. You don't know anything about him, he doesn't know anything about you guys. It's possible, it's not possible at all. It can all be sandbagging, strategy. You know what, my advice would be not take it seriously and just see how it goes. Yeah, that sounds more realistic, yes. Right, back to the action here. Still Gaff Peak and Little Piece in the front. Because Gaff Peak on the 115.2, a Little Piece on the 115.6. Gaff Peak not near that good lap that he posted in the previous quali session. A Little Piece also not, but of course Little Piece now on the harder tyre. There we go, Staff. That's always play the long game. It's 100% race after all. I mean 70 odd laps here. I mean 70 odd times going through those S's. I mean, it takes concentration. Anything can happen in 100% race distance. So if you play the long game and you play it safe, it's actually a much better strategy. Right, Ivan coming into the pits. Surprisingly not showing any lap times for him as yet. And also no, not Vino, and at the moment it's between the two of him for that one guy who's gonna be cut from the next session. Well, Mr. 2001, I would count my words if I were you, because at the moment that pig is flying. And he's flying by some margin. And if I compare his time to you, it's almost a second, so I would be careful what I say just now. I take it that Ronald managed to reconnect their staff, because I do understand he had some connection issues. Hey, and Y is coming in here. Ultra soft, actually, the harder tyre compared to Gaff Peak, and he goes 115.1. But of course, it's again just to get through to that far important Q3. It's all about just getting a time, not to risk the car too much. Staff, not at this stage, anyway. I think he's done and dusted. He's not going to worry too much about it now. With that said, also Nismax decided it's enough. Rob decided DW is out. I see Ivan is out. No time posted. If Vinno posts a time, that means Vinno will go through to the actual qualifying free session. With then Ivan being the casualty here of Q2. 20 seconds remaining. Ugh, no, nah, qualifying in the rain is never nice to have. I'd rather take rain in the race, but qualifying, oh my word. Oh well, good luck there. Hopefully it's just a bit of inters needed there, not full wet. Of course, just a reminder to everybody, of course, F1 2018, real battle there. Of course, as it happens, they are also at Mexico this weekend. Of course, earlier on, we had the Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo actually topping the timesheets there after free practice 1. Right, back to the action here. We're just waiting for the last few guys to finish, which is pretty much Wires. Okay, he's coming into the pit, so he's done. So we just... No, Vina is also done, also showing no time. Well, this is interesting. No time for him and actually no time for Ivan either. So we'll see how this one pans out. Okay, we're just waiting for everybody to finish. I think it's just Wires then to retire. Then once Wires retires, this session should be done and dusted. Bring on Q3. Okay, thanks for that, Steph. Though not too bad if it's inters only. Right, here we go. Q2 done. Just waiting for everybody to finish and ready up here so we can move on. Just looking at your comments, Steph, that's actually always a possibility, with Gav pushing all the time. Right, there's your top 3, Wires, Little Piece and Gav. DW, we're sitting strong in 4th, with Voss in 5th. Of course, this is not the real thing for now, this is just to get to that all-important Q3. Of course, final positions will be determined in the next session. Right, there we go. Vino actually is the casualty, so Ivan will proceed to Q3. Right, here we go. Let's get it on. Of course, just while we're waiting for this still and to get every guy started, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez is a 2.674 mile motorsport racetrack which is built here in Mexico City. It was named after the racing drivers Ricardo and Pedro Rodriguez. Ricardo died in practice for the non-championship race which was held then in 1962. Of course, and Pedro lost his life behind the wheel some 9 years later. Sad, both brothers actually lost their lives, but of course doing what they loved, racing. Right, here we go. Q3 gets underway and a couple of guys actually going for it at the same time. No hanging around this time. But of course only 11 minutes in this session. Okay, looks like AD had a bit of a disconnecting thing, but he managed to join again, so hopefully he can just reclaim that car of his. Always sad to see a guy disconnect, especially when it's at his most interesting, and of course where it's at the most intense. Last thing you want a guy to disconnect with an intense battle. But of course you can't control internet, you can't control wave and all those factors that contribute to internet connections. Okay, we got Nesmax going out, but earlier than usual, unless he's going to go for a quick run and come back to go again. Just an update. Looks like Vino actually had a disconnection problem there, that's why he didn't post the time. Hey, looks like some of the guys getting errors here as well. Right, 10 drivers, last 10 drivers, 80 in the pit, so I'm not sure if he actually managed to regain that cars yet. The show joined, but we'll just keep an eye on that to see how that course, importantly, I know you want to compete in Q3, but of course the main thing is if you can join in time for that all-important race. Because points are not won in qualifying, but in the race. Right, Ivan again, the leading of the Toro Rossos at the moment. And Toro Rosso and Haas, both cars actually in the final qualifying session. Nicely done by Haas and Toro Rosso. Of course, Ferraris, we have a team with 2 drivers in this tier, but of course, Jonathan, who lost out early on in qualifying 1. And Gaffney goes with the fastest time, 1:14.6, pretty much repeating that time that he did there in Q1. And RJDV goes second for now, with Ivan third with a 1:16.2. And again we got yellow flags, but this time sector 1. There we go. Looks like what? We're going slow. Looks like that car's still going. Yeah, he's coming back on track. No, he's going slow there. Might just be that he's trying to get out of the way there of his faster cars. He's going very slow. Okay, now he just waited for that second car there. He picks up speed now. Of course, when you do come across these things, of course, when you do make an error, you have to, of course, bear in mind the faster car behind you. Last thing you want to do is to mess up the qualifying or the race for that matter, or cost them that valuable time. So nicely done there by Wires to be aware of the faster guys behind him and just keeping it out of the way all the way. Again, stopping in front of a corner, rather cutting the corner instead of jeopardizing their lap times. Nicely done, Wires. I commend you for that. We just need more drivers like that to take other drivers into consideration. Okay, this looks like this probably will be a pit stop coming up here for him. No, actually the car's fine. Looks like the tires are also fine. He's going to continue with it. Right, so he'll be going on to a fast lap now. Little piece, strange enough at the moment, at 1:15.6. Almost a full second behind Gaffpeak and on the same tyre. That might have been just an initial run just to set a benchmark for himself. I'm sure he will go again, and of course he will go like mad. Okay, we got Cam now also there on his outlap. Ivan back in the pits, Rob back in the pits, and we got Nismax and Gaffpeak also in the pits. But Nismax actually got a 1:14.7. Now this time Nismax is quite close to Gaffpeak. My gut tells me this is going to be a Gaffpeak, Nismax and Little Piece fight for that pole position. And of course all 3 of them sitting in the pits at the moment, so it's going to be one of those late runs again. It's going to be about who blinks first and who keeps it clean, and who can put a complete lap together over all corners. So we'll just keep an eye on that as this qualifying session unfolds and of course concludes. Right, we got at the moment Cam in 10th position, but of course yet to post a time. Okay, we got DW out there and Wires out there at the moment. Wires now actually with a 1:15.1. So a decent time. That would put him firmly there in midfield. Well, midfield in between these 2 guys, of course. Right up front there if you look at the entire grid for the race. Of course, if you look at the long run, it's also going to be who's got the better strategy and who's going to keep it clean. So Wise is still in there as well. Of course, qualifying is not what it's all about. It just gives you a bit of an edge, of course, to gain that extra position where you start. Cam with a 1:15.2 now we're in 6th position. Surely he would probably also come back to the pits to make one final attempt. Okay, no one blinking as yet. Hey, that rain really makes a difference in the time. That's almost like 11 seconds, 12 seconds of of qualifying one. But nicely done, you guys. Thanks for the update there, Steph. Appreciate it. So bring on race for tier 2. We got still 3 minutes and 40 seconds left here in Q3. Okay. Oh, Cameron! And you still managed to make that car go. How did you manage that? There surely was contact with that pit wall. Because you just saw as he came around that corner, he's going straight for that barrier, and as the camera cut, there was some pieces of that barrier flying. Yo, Cam, you're ramming the walls again. It's a bit early, guy. Keep it calm yourself. Right, here we go. It was just under 3 minutes to go. We'll see the guys come out now for that final stint to make the all important push. Of course, the bench is set there by Gafpeak and Nismax. So we will keep an eye on them, and of course, as I mentioned, Little Piece as well. Yellow flag for in sector 1. That's Nismax now also out. Rob's out, yeah, pretty much. It's just Cameron who was also the last, but he's also now on his way. Everybody out, going for it. That's right, Cam, warming up those tyres there. See if we can get that all important extra grip there with the warm tyres. Let's see who's Gaffy go a bit wide there. Sector 2 now under yellow. That's sector 2, sector 3. Sector 3 now, somebody... No, it looks like it's cleared. Of course, the last thing you want now is to have damage and pit now, because of course if you pit now there will not be enough time to come out again. Force keeps it in 8th at the moment. And we got yellow again, but of course Force going slow. Now, Steph, I fully understand that. Of course, last thing I want you to do is to jeopardize your race, just to update us now. Cool. But thanks for the update so far. All the best for the race. I hope you have a strong one. Right, Foss now decided to retire. Enough is enough for him. He's happy to start in 8th position. Of course, as I said, no points for qualifying. He can still gain he can still gain those positions in the race. It's all about how his race unfolds. So we'll just keep an eye on him during the race. We see 80 now being pushed into the pit. So that's also his qualifying session done. Obviously he will not be able to come out with only 18 seconds left. So Foss is in 8th and 80 in 9th. We'll see if Ivan can actually improve on those. But now into the pits comes Ivan as well. He's also done. That's 9. So 8th, 9th and 10th confirmed. Foss, 80 and Ivan. Waiting for the cups, and Little Piece goes faster, so 1:14.659. Very close. Okay, he's done. We're waiting for Gafpeak and Nismax to come across, see what they can do. Can they improve their times? Rob is still on his lap, so he can still finish. Nismax finished 1:14.7. He will only manage 3rd. No pole position for him tonight. But 1:14.7 versus the 1:14.6 of Little Piece. This is very close. Let's just see what Gaffby can do. Coming around for final corner now. On full throttle, approaching, opening up onto the home straight. And Gaffby goes fastest, 1:14.5. What a lap, Mr. Pig. Just as I suspected, Gaffby, Little Piece and Nismax, they were going to go for it and they kept it close. And in the end, Rob 2000 actually, I noticed, came relatively close. A 1:14.9. But as I said that, Wires actually comes in and surprise. He takes it from Gaff with a .003. My word. Wires, what a lap. Taking it from the peak there right at the end. Awesome driving, you guys. Great stuff. Wow, 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 wow. What a session. Where's confirmation? Wires, Gaffpeak, Little Piece, and Nismax now being pushed down to 4th. But look at the difference between those guys. Wow. My word, that was some awesome driving. Well done, guys. Definitely going to be an interesting race here. But of course, it's also about those strategies as well that's now going to come into play. All the guys using different compounds in Q2. Right, gonna go to the race just shortly. Wow, definitely what a session. Of course, just for those guys who've been paying attention and been watching the curves and have this eye for detail, you would have noticed, of course, that this track has an elevation of 2.285 meters as it obviously changes throughout the course of the track. But overcast there by the looks of it, but there was no prediction of rain. But then again, anything can happen, and it usually does. But let's see how it goes. We're hopeful for no rain. Just waiting for everybody to finalize their race strategies there and ready up. Of course, just another reminder to those folks watching out there. Of course, all our races here is 100% race distance. And of course, again, feel free to post those comments and join in the conversation. Right, we got Ivan, AD, Rob, Foss, Nismax, so a couple of guys ready there, DW, just a few more tweaking. Right, looks like everybody's happy with their strategies. Let's go. Formation lap underway. This is going to be interesting. Well, but cooler conditions is all about that tires warming up and getting that extra grip. And of course, that all important start. Ooh, some of the guys weaving heavily there. Touching some grass there on the outside. Okay, just everybody, nothing serious for the moment, just everybody warming up. Yellow flag, some contact perhaps. Nah, it looks like everybody's still busy with a formation lap. Of course, it's all about being patient as well into that first corner. As of course, as you hear so often, as I mentioned earlier already, that first corner, it's so easy to lose your race into the first corner. But you'll never win it into the first corner. But of course, some people still want to put it out there and try their hardest into that corner. See, Gav Big V not too happy with the advertising on the road, decide to smash the old polystyrene advertising boards there. Right, all coming around the final corner here to line up for the start. Just gonna see who will get the better drive of the line here. And if his guys can keep their cool into that first corner. Right, just waiting for the last few guys here. Right, and we are ready. Watch for the light. And Mexico is a go! And everybody looks like getting a clean start. Cam getting a mighty fine start there, actually gaining some positions there. Because yeah, and Gafpik had a beautiful corner, and he's gonna, and Gafpik is gonna take in the first corner. Oh, and forced into Nismax. 3-second tie penalty for Force cutting corner, and where he spins out, but Force definitely went into Nismax there. And Force left the session. That is a retirement. You always had a feeling that one's going to end up in tears looking at that, because Force was a bit too hot on the brakes. He couldn't slow the car down quick enough, and he actually ran into Nismax, sending Nismax a bit wide and actually losing out on a position or two as a result. Gafpik in the meantime made that move stick, and he managed to go through the first corner into first place. Wise following him at the moment, 0.5. With Little Peace now in third and DW now into fourth. Ivan currently running in fifth, and we got Cam in sixth with Nismax now in seventh. Let's see what's looking with Vino, because it's not showing Vino. It looks like Vino might have disconnected. Well, that's sad. It's always a sad feeling for these guys. Gav, of course, posting the fastest lap for the opening lap, fastest lap time. Oh, and Rob now with 5-second stop go penalty speeding on the pit lane. So Rob obviously had to sustain some sort of damage in that opening lap, because for him to pit this early, and of course coming in too hot into the pit lane now, also getting the 5-second. So that's exactly what I mentioned earlier. It's all well pick the perfect strategy, but of course if it gets compromised as a race start with having to stop early due to damage, that strategy is kind of out the door. I see Nismax also now in the pits. He also had to sustain some damage, and AD also in the pit. So Rob, Nismax and AD 9, 10 and 11 respectively all now pitted. No, Vino definitely not showing there. Looks like we lost Vino. Jay Fernandez now all the way from last into 7th place. So far he's the biggest winner after that first corner turmoil. Force still showing. I'm not sure if he retired or if it was just a disconnect there. And Gafpik goes fastest again with a 1:19. Gap now to Wires a 1.6. Little Piece right on Wires, and Little Piece going for it on the outside. And Little Piece having the best drive. He's going to go into the corner. Definitely in second position. Go to Little Piece. Little Piece now setting after Gafpik. This will be interesting. A lot of dirt hanging around the track here, and that gap now actually down to 1.3. Little Piece the man on the move. I'm seeing that, yeah, Jonathan started obviously on the super soft. Rob now went for super soft with that stop. Nismax on ultra soft and AD on hyper soft. Okay, Gafpik actually pulled away there from Little Piece now. Gap all of a sudden 2 seconds. Maybe a bit of a mistake here. But of course, Little Piece also have to watch Wires, because Wires staying right on him. And of course, most of the times when you defend, you tend to lose time to the guy in front. DW now 5 seconds behind this second position battle between Wires and Little Piece. And Ivan right on the DW. Of course now DRS is available, so Ivan there with a letterbox wide open. Gaining. And he's actually going to shoot on the inside. Oh, there had to be contact. Going a bit sideways, but he managed to keep it together. But that was always a, gamble, because he just came from a little way too far there. But nicely done by DW, also keeping his ground and not actually losing the car there. Could have so easily happened. And meantime, Cam looks like he's also gaining on these guys, 1.1 seconds. Jonathan now falling further behind, 12 seconds behind Cam. And Foss looks like it's a ghost. He definitely said Foss left unless he came. Oh, and Wyers retired. Wyers out of a race. That will promote DW now to third position, with Ivan still pretty hot on his tail. Goodness, now Wise has left the session. Yeah, there we go. Confirmation. Foss's car is definitely ghosting. He's out of the race. Nesmax now into 8th position with Rob, of course, still hanging in 9th, and Foss's ghost car is now down to 10th. But AD will soon get past that car. There we go. Wise now going out to the bottom. We got 10 races, well, actually 9 races left with Foss's car actually just ghosting. Right, we got Little Piece now 3 seconds behind Gavpeak. DW 6 seconds behind Little Piece, and Ivan still staying with DW. For the moment, this is the closest gap. Cam now fell back towards these two, 2.2 seconds, 2.3 seconds. Jonathan now 12 seconds behind Cam, with Nismax gaining on Jonathan. Of course, teammates with Jonathan and Nismax. No, Gavpeak left the session. Oh no, that's a disconnect. That's a disconnect. That is definitely connection issues. Oh no, and he was in such a strong position. Of course, Little Piece is now going to gain. He's already a second up there, even more. Nismax will definitely gain here. 80 now with a 3-second time penalty. Yep, Little Piece gaining. Little Piece will soon take first position. I hope Gavin can actually reclaim his car and he's actually able to connect in the first place and then regain his car. It happened, of course, with him in the first race where he was also there amongst the top 3 guys, and he disconnected and dropped all the way to 10th place. And he managed to fight his way back all the way onto the podium that day. So let's see what happens. Importantly is just to connect again and regain the car. So we'll just keep an eye on him. Little Piece now promoted to first, pulling away from that ghost car of Gavin. DW will soon also catch him, and of course then will get promoted to second position. Gap between DW and Ivan now just under a second, open up a little bit. Bit of breathing to DW, but not much. Looks like Ivan has got a much better drive, but DW actually get a bit more. Ivan's definitely not giving up on DW. Definitely going to wait for him and push him if he can to make that mistake. Nismax now 15 seconds behind his Ferrari teammate, with Robbie following 2.8 seconds behind. Pretty much, if we look at the last 3, we know we lost early, probably disconnection. Wires retired, and Foss obviously disconnected as well after that contact with Nismax in the first corner. So we're down to 9 drivers, that's obviously if Gavpeak managed to get control of his car again. TnB now, DW go past him, and we got Ivan also past him. Gavpeak moving now down to 4th. Cameron is the next guy to hopefully make a position on that ghosting vehicle. Okay, Cam, right, it's still this Ivan DW battle that is the close one at the moment. Little Piece now 7 seconds. And Ivan having a look at DW going on the inside to say, a bit of contact there, wheels, but just wheels. Nothing major, and Ivan make it stick, and Ivan now gets that second position. And he now 8 seconds behind Little Piece, who's just pulling further and further away. Let's see if DW can stay with Ivan. And DW actually goes back, of course. DRS there on the straight, used it to his advantage, coming from the outside, clean through the chicane, and he managed to reclaim that second position. But of course Ivan sticking with him. Because Ivan this time around will not have a DRS, because the DRS on the home straight and that DRS section is a double, of course, which is picked up in the last few corners before the home straight. Ach no, Wires, no. I'm so sorry to hear that. I wondered there what happened to you. Such a brilliant lap. Well done, mate, for the pole position. And a good start. You were going for gaff pick. So sorry, and it's those little distractions that cost you. Tough luck, mate. Next time. Right, DW staying in second now. With it is he's 1 second. Ivan definitely out of DRS for now, and Little Piece just pulling further and further away. Yellow flag at the moment. Not seeing any real road, but it's cleared in anyway. Probably, maybe just one of those ghosting cars. ADV is still in 9th. Because Nismax now only 6 seconds behind. Because Gav Peak's car now in the pits. Of course, that is a ghosting car as far as I know. And Little Piece now with a 3-second time penalty. Of course, just to remind everybody once again, just bear in mind all corner cutting is set on streak here. So even if you go with a little bit too much, even if it doesn't look bad, you still get a warning. Okay, so we've got 2 ghost cars, the Foss car and the Gav car. I didn't see Gav reconnecting yet, so we'll just keep an eye on it. Rob now 6 seconds behind Nismax. Nismax still gaining beyond his Ferrari teammate, who's now 14 seconds behind Cam. Ivan now falling back to DW. Gap now almost 2 seconds, definitely way out of DRS, so some breathing space here for DW. Must give it to DW, some awesome driving there, keeping a calm head. Didn't lose faith when Ivan overtook him. He kept on fighting, kept it clean, and at the right time he pounced. Of course, just to keep a look at confirmation. That's also why, okay, an AD now with a 3-second time penalty. Ivan is on the softer tyre, so he will be going softer. DW going for a bit of a longer run, so is Little Piece, both of them on the ultras. Expecting some of the hyper soft guys to start pitting within the next few laps. Yep, Ivan now falling further away. It looks like his tires are pretty much done. Okay, I did also hear a lot of drivers earlier today mention that they were not too comfortable with this track. And some of them that actually mentioned things like that are actually still running here. There we go, Nismax now coming up to his teammate through this 4-0 section onto the last corner into the home straight. There should be really a clean cut case. I expect actually Jonathan to probably pull over for Nismax, which is the fast over 2. There we go, as I said it, Jonathan pulls over. Nismax using a bit of slipstream there, of course in the DRS zone. No, there we go, and Nismax, yeah, into 5th, and Jonathan will definitely not fight him. No, Jonathan will not fight him. While this pass took place, I see Gafpik actually now came in with the fastest time, so which means Gafpik did manage to reclaim his car, so that car is definitely not ghosting anymore. Right, Nismax into 5th now, Jonathan now in 6th, Rob some 8 seconds behind him, and 80 of course 8 seconds behind Rob. So Gav Peak all the way coming from the back, which is what's of remaining vehicles. Of course, once he gets that ghost vehicle of force, he will be up to racing with the rest of the remaining runners. Oh, can you believe it? We already finished. We're already on lap 12 of 71. Lots of excitement actually within this first few laps. And who said 100% race distance are boring? Of course, everybody will probably just now start settling into a bit of a rhythm, and of course, so as progress, we will see more action later on. And just to remind everybody, as you can see, Jonathan and Rob, of course, running on the Super Soft, which is the harder and of course much slower tire, but also they will be the ones going for the much longer strategies. Of course, we've got Little Piece and DW on the Ultra Softs, as well as Cam and Nismax. Nismax had to make that early stop, of course, otherwise he also would have had now at the 11 laps, perhaps. Of course, DW is famous for his long stints on tires, how far he can push his tires. Gav Peak now unlapping himself to Jay Fernandez there. Of course, now 13 seconds behind that ghosting vehicle of Vos. Right, just arriving here with Gav Peak through the stadium section. Of course, gaining more and more time on that stricken vehicle, ghost vehicle, whichever you want to call it, of Vos. Because once he's past him, it's about he will be sitting after the remainder of his driver stall in the race. So that confirms pretty much that we've got 9 runners. Only casualties is Venner, who didn't start this race by the looks of it. Wise with that retirement. Of course, Fost, who lost it on that first lap, that car ghosting. Of course, a lot of you guys would have heard me talking about the Foro several times earlier on. This circuit actually has an extremely fast final corner. I know it doesn't look like it. Of course, just quickly in the race there now, Ivan with a time penalty. The final corner here is extremely fast. Look, it doesn't look like it much, but of course, if you look at these three and of course how it progressed. Anyway, so the last corner there is extremely fast, and it's actually referred to as the Peraltada, or turn 17, whichever is easier for you. Of course, the Peraltada leads onto the start-finish straight, and it tends to remind people of Monza. Of course, what we need to keep in mind, however, unlike Monza's Parabolica corner, the Peraltada curve is slightly banked, which allows for even more speed through the corner. And it was actually at this corner that the younger Rodriguez crashed due to suspension failure. Of course, earlier I did mention about the track being named after the Rodriguez brothers, who both lost their lives driving. Of course, the elder one was in a practice session, of course, at that non-championship race, and the other some 9 years later. So, quite a famous corner actually, that Peraltada, of course, claiming the life and of course with the speed and stuff. Of course, after the last F1 Mexican Grand Prix held in 1992, a baseball stadium called the Foro was built onto the inner part of the curve. When the Champ Series began using the track in 2002, the Peraltada curve was partially bypassed by a series of sharp turns, entering and exiting the Foro, re-entering the Peraltada halfway through. So, which obviously now, if you look at the corner, at the track as it is, here we go, Gav Peak going through the section now we're talking about. You don't think it's that fast because of a series of corners, but of course this is how these corners have been reshaped throughout time. But of course, nonetheless, still a nice piece of a track, this whole stadium section or the Foro. Of course, so for those guys who like the corner names, there's one for you, Peraltado. And of course with Monza we have a Parabolica. But please don't confuse with the two, they're quite unique in their own ways. Right, Gav Peak now, of course, with some lot of time to make up before he gets to 80. Rob now right on Jonathan. This should not take long. Because Rob, well, there we go, he's just about to say Rob should have DRS. As we said, letterbox opening up, Rob coming on the inside. No, not going to make it stick this time. Nice drive here from Jonathan, keeping his line, keeping it clean. Just keeping an eye on that Ivan DW battle. That gap's now open to 6.8 seconds. DW falling behind to little piece, but not as quick as initially. Gap now a little bit more stable. But of course, there we go. I was just about to say I'm expecting some people to start pitting now with those Hypersofts. And here comes Ivan. Nesmax now promoted to 4th position, and AD with another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. See here, nothing out of ordinary, just a straight tyre change, and off we go. Ivan on his way again. Nesmax now right on the rear wing of Cam. Nesmax should have DRS by the looks of it. No, not. But he's going to go for it on the inside. Well, sorry, outside corner, turning in. No, it's not going to make it stick. Oh, but a bit of a slide there from Cam. But Nesmax is not going to let him get away from him. Because we're right behind them, of course, is the car of Gavpik now coming to unlap himself. Of course, still making that huge attempt now to get to salvage some points from this race after that disconnect. Nesmax now with a decent drive out of his S's, but no, not close enough. Of course, staying like this, he will pick up the DRS this time around onto the home straight. And maybe Gavpik can get some tail there and also unlap him on both. Nesmax now right behind Cam, open up DRS. Gav will also have DRS. Cam going on the inside, defending. Nesmax staying on the outside, and he will take him on the outside. Nesmax went up to 3rd position. And Gavpik now unlaps himself on Cam as well. Cam, of course, stays in 4th position. As I said, it's just Gavin unlapping himself. Now 51 seconds behind AD 77. Gavpik staying with Nesmax. Of course, if he can do that, that will be helpful. But a slipstream there, also the pace that Nesmax have, which will actually pull him through to further up. Gap now a little bit down on DW and Little Piece, just under 12 seconds. Nesmax then 10 seconds behind DW. Cam now falling back to Nesmax. And pretty much Cam and Nesmax, there's only 1 lap difference between them on tyres, so surprising that Cam actually falling off so quick. Oh, big slide, almost barriers, almost. I must say, Cam really loves his walls. He like to taunt them. Okay, Jonathan now 1.7 seconds behind Ivan, 1.9. Ivan obviously would have passed him there after his pit stop early on. Rob now in 5th position, some 2 seconds ahead of Ivan. Of course, Rob is still on the super soft, which he had to switch to on that first lap stop. You can just see Ivan there coming up in the distance here. But Rob's just getting some time here. Rob keeping it clean and steady. Gavpik now 19 seconds behind AD 77. Gavin really the man on the move, but of course As I said, he's got a big job to do. He's now ahead of Nismax. Unlapped himself on Nismax as well. Now it's just about to get away, because otherwise he would get those blue flag warnings. Never nice to get those when you try to drive yourself out of difficult times. Okay, Nismax still on DRS zone. Yeah, getting some DRS on Gav, but Gav of course stay in front. Now just to get enough gap between the two of them so that he can get out of that blue flag warning, or otherwise risk getting a penalty. Gap now back to 12 seconds between DW and Little Piece. DW 9 seconds ahead of Nismax, who now gained a bit of time on DW. So, and there we go, some more time gained by Nismax. I think it should not be long before we see the two of them getting a battle going, and Jay now going with a time penalty. Okay, Nismax even gaining even further. Cam now falling further behind to Nismax. Rob only 12 seconds behind Cam. But of course Ivan is on the softer tyres, ultra soft, of course much fresher tyres. And Little Piece now into the pits, and DW now will claim the lead, of course staying out. Nismax of course pitting on lap 1 will also still out there, so into second position. Ivan staying there with Rob, of course he is on the softer tyres mentioned. Slipstream, DRS, dives on the inside, coming up to the first corner. And he makes it stick, goes in front of Rob. Rob tries on the outside, but Ivan will make it stick. Of course, softer tyre, it shows super soft there on the side, but of course if you look at the indicator it shows ultras. So softer tyre, and of course his tyres are much newer than Rob's, because he just put it like a lap or two ago. So that was all straightforward. But nice driving, gentlemen, keeping it nice and clean, allowing each other enough gap, enough space. Right, Little Piece now after his pit, 1.8 seconds behind Nismax, who's now 5.7 seconds behind DW. Because DW now 19 laps on those tyres as well as Cam, and as I said, DW now decides to pit, which will promote Nismax now to first position, and Little Piece will go into second position. I see Little Piece now is on super soft, going for a longer stint here. 1.5 seconds behind Nismax. Looks like this is going to be a battle that's going to form quite soon. Cam now promoted to third position, staying out, already 20 laps on those tyres. Was Cam now just passing that ghost vehicle of Voss. Gavin 17 seconds behind AD, who's now 29 seconds behind Jay Fernandez. DW right on the back of Rob. DW now on, from the indicator super soft. It shows ultra soft here on your picture, but the indicator shows super soft. So he now going on a longer run. Of course, fresher tyres, and Rob decides now he's going to give him a position. There's no worth. There's no gaining from it to fight the guy. Nice sportsmanship here from Rob, just handing him a position not to fight him with the SS coming, and because that easily can end up in tears. Of course, the two of them made contact last week in France, so but it could also be a little return favour from Rob to say sorry for that small incident. Alright, around the final corner is to come. Alright, DW now pulling away. 1.9 seconds behind Ivan. Rob now out of DRS zone to DW. If we look at this, Ivan, DW and Rob, this might actually become a freeway battle if these gaps keep coming down. Little piece now right on the back end of Nismax. Because little piece harder tire, but also the fresher tire. Fresh rubber, of course, makes a big difference. But Nismax Pro might put in the not too far future. Of course, yeah, Nismax and little piece just behind Gavi. Of course, who's still fighting his way back. Gap now stabilized a little bit to AD, not gaining as quickly as he did earlier. Cam now with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Jonathan right on the back of Cam. Here we go. Might see something happening here soon. Because Jonathan on much older tyres, Cam would have just come out of the pit. I see also now in super soft. But now it looks like Cam is now getting those tyres warmed up and ready to work. Yes, he pulled away and Jonathan now outside the DRS. Or not. Actually just gaining a little bit, but of course is also as the track as we approach that first corner. Running a bit wide V, and he actually does have DRS. Gaining a little bit on Cam, but not much. But of course, again, Cam's got the fresher rubber, so it should count in his favour. Okay, in the front we're shaping up here for Little Piece and Nismax. Because again, same story here. Nismax, the Ferrari of course on the much older tyres. Little Piece recently stopped. So the newer tyres should actually help him. Oh, riding a bit wide there. But he should be right back on it again. Of course, here we go. He does have DRS, but it's not gonna help him this time round. Of course, that Lapkov Gavpik who now fell further back to AD, which also now resulted in the two leaders catching him. And there you can see confirmation, blue flag. So he will have to move over or risk that time penalty, unless he can pull away from him. Because now with Little Piece right behind Nismax, he's pushing him all the way, and of course as with that they keep on catching Gavpik. Little Piece looking at the outside, chance having a sniff, but not gonna happen this time. But right on Nismax, so he will have DRS again coming around. Because staying this time right on the back, and Gav comes in now for a new rubber. And Little Piece stays on Nismax, the fresh rubber. DRS will now flap open. Nismax got DRS as well because of Gavpik. Can he use that to counter, staying on the inside? Little Piece having a look on the outside. And indeed, Nismax managed to use that DRS to his advantage. Of course, picking up the DRS from Gav, which was ahead of him. And that was enough for him to fight off Nismax on that time. And both of them will have DRS again because, as mentioned earlier in this broadcast, of course, the DRS zone here is a double DRS zone. Of course, the detection zone is in that stadium section, and of course, DRS is available on that the home straight, and of course, that first section after that chicane. Right, Little Piece staying with the Nismax. Let's see who's got the better line here through the next couple of corners. Little Piece staying right on the back of Nismax. Of course, this time around Nismax don't have a car in front of him, so he won't have DRS, and Little Piece will. So can Little Piece use it to his advantage this time around? Right on the back of it. Ferrari staying in that, staying in his slipstream. DRS will now flap open. Little Piece and Nismax dive onto the inside to defend his line. Little Piece staying on the outside. Who's going to be the bravest on the brakes? Little Piece stays on the outside. He does it, and he will get the drive definitely into the next corner. He's got it. Nice driving, gentleman. Nismax have to concede that position, of course. Little piece had the DRS and of course the fresher rubber as well. And now 80 with another time penalty. Gaff Peak, meantime 37 seconds behind, of course, making that pit stop. So he's now in the ultra softs. We're currently on lap 26 out of 71. Still a long way to go. We're not even halfway yet. So, and a lot can happen, and it usually does happen in F1. Just the two leaders going at it at the moment. Otherwise, there's no other real battles happening at this time. Okay, and Nismax now actually staying there with Little Piece, not letting him disappear. Definitely, wow. The tyres that's already 25 laps old managed to stay with him. Both Ferraris looking solid at the moment. And this time around, Ivan actually flying the flag for the Toro Rosso. Oh, and Little Piece runs wide, which will actually bring Nismax right to the back of him. And he's going a little bit wide again. Nismax now staying with him. Nismax now falling off there actually through the sequence of corners. But staying on him. If he stays like this, he will actually pick up DRS again, but he will need to close in a bit to try to use that to his advantage. And Nismax, I thought within the next couple of laps that would happen. Nismax now decided enough's enough. Time to come in for new rubber. Looks like he's now, yeah, he's going on to super softs as well. Also going for a longer stint here. And Gaff Peak, the man on the move again, a 1:17.5. Gap now down to 32 seconds to AD, who's now only 14 seconds behind Jay Fernandez. TW now takes second position, and Ivan as well now into third position. But Nismax coming right to the back of Ivan. Of course, he will now be on the fresher rubber this time round. Ivan already on 12 laps on that set of tyres. Of course, Nismax is staying in his slipstream. Of course, no DRS this time round. Nismax going on the inside. Oh, running outside. Oh, they're running side by side. That's brave. That's bold. Wow. And Ivan made it stick, and he actually bring the car back. But he runs a bit wide there. Nismax with a better drive out of the corners. So he will be right on the back of him. Of course, staying like this, he will pick up the DRS in the detection zone coming up here. Oh, a little bit wide again there from Ivan. Nismax on the inside, final corner. Nismax right on the back of Ivan this time. Keep his slipstream coming on the inside. DRS is not even open yet. It's already side by side. There we go. DRS flip open. Now it's just a drag race straight out to the first corner. But Nismax actually with a momentum. Nismax got on the outside in front, making sure it sticks, and he makes it stick. Nismax up to third now. Nice clever racing. Slipstream, and when the DRS opened, that was just for confirmation. Of course, he will also have DRS here now because of a double DRS zone, which will also help him pull away a little bit further. Ivan sticking with him still in DRS zone. It's just a matter of staying with Nismax now, if he can make that happen. Nismax now 6 seconds behind DW, who's 19 seconds behind Little Piece, who also, by the way, got another time penalty. Okay, Nesmax now, yeah, no, definitely he's safe. Third position is his. Gap down to 5 seconds to DW. Gafpik has in the meantime managed to close the gap to 80 now to 25 seconds. You also now in his turn gained some time on Jay Fernandez, only 11 seconds now. Cam now 7 seconds behind Rob, who's only 4 seconds off this, so a little Ivan Nismax battle. Okay, Nismax still gaining on DW. Ivan falling further behind now. Nesmax also, Nesmax actually now using this new rubber to his advantage. Okay, Ivan falling further, Nesmax gaining, so Nesmax definitely a man on the move here. Of course, gap to Little Piece between DW and Little Piece is 19 seconds, so it's about Nesmax just getting in front of DW, now sitting after Little Piece again. Of course, for just oh no, Rob now left the session. Rob now looks like with a disconnect, which means we got another ghosting vehicle. Oh no, internet problems for guys tonight again. Of course, in other sports news happening, for those of you guys who's okay, Rob, there we go. Rob managed to rejoin. Of course, for those cricket lovers, those who follow international cricket, just an update. The second T20, Pakistan managed to beat Australia by 11 runs. Okay, Nismax now 2 seconds behind DW, who actually gained a bit on Little Piece. And we got a yellow flag there in sector 1. Just want to see if we can pick up something there. Shows yellow flag, but it's not showing us. Unless it's just maybe there Rob managing to regain his vehicle. For that momentary pause there that we had. Was just a quick update here on your biggest gainers. So far as it sits now, the biggest gainer is Ivan. Speaking of which, 3-second time penalty for him. But Ivan actually gained 6 positions from where he started this race, with Jonathan gaining 5 positions. Biggest loser at the moment is Gafpik, of course, talking runners wise. But Gafpik, of course, it was all thanks to that disconnect that he had very early on. Just looking at Gafpik now coming up to that ghost vehicle of force. Right. Yeah, just leave that tire stuff as well, so you guys can just see the relevant amount of laps that those guys do on their tires. Of course, I see some guys coming in, some guys leaving us. Please, just a reminder, please share your comments, join in the conversation here. Gaff now down to 16 seconds to 83 seconds behind Jay Fernandez. Rob now coming up to Cameron. Let's just see if we can get to these two. Ooh. Rob now obviously regained his vehicle a few moments ago, right on it again. And right, meantime in the front, Nesmax regained second position. He's now 1.4 seconds ahead of DW. 15 seconds behind Little Piece. Actually gained some time behind Little Piece. Gap a moment ago when DW was in second was 19 seconds between DW and Nesmax. DW and Little Piece. Of course, Nesmax now has begun the move. Keep an eye on here, Rob and Cam a bit. Always interesting seeing these two going at it. Of course, there's no love lost there. The moment Rob just outside that DRS zone. Cam just making sure that he keeps it nice and clean. Solid 5th position at the moment. Wouldn't he love to finish there? But Nesmax Little Piece gap now under 15 seconds. And of course the DW now falling away to Nesmax again. But of course we're only approaching the halfway mark now. So still a long way to go. Of course, and DW is one of those patient drivers, always playing the long game. Ivan in the meantime now down to 10 seconds behind DW. Of course, he's also on the ultra soft, and of course 18 laps already on him, so his tires will also come now towards the end of its lifespan. Wes, he actually did get pole position, actually started well, but of course Gaffby get a better start, took him on in the first corner. The two of them were going at it quite strongly. And then Weiss actually had a bit of a small mishap where we actually got distracted, and that brief moment of concentration that he lost, where actually he ended up retiring. Of course, I mean, you sit here, we all do the PlayStation, but surroundings, life happens. Of course, anything can happen at any stage. Of course, just looking forward to the next race for Wise to make his comeback. Of course, if he's going to put in another lap like this and he's going to have a start like this, definitely going on like this, Wise will have a win soon. Meantime, the Gaffpick gap now is actually under 10 seconds, and it's now Jay Fernandez is chasing, who got lapped by, he got passed by AD not too long ago. Actually, it was, he managed to do 3 laps. So he stayed in there, but got the start, did it 1, 2, 3 laps. And pretty much on lap 3 or 4 it happened. Sorry if I just jump around here. I don't have a mark at the moment showing on the site on which car I'm looking, so I'm just trying to get a reference point on the car. Because here we with Nismax now 11 seconds behind Little Piece, and now 5 seconds ahead of DW. Still the man on the go. Little Piece at the moment. Just got that ghost car force, and Gaffpick now 5 seconds behind Jay Fernandez, who's now 2 seconds behind AD. AD another 30 seconds odd. And Rob right back on it with Cam again. Let's see what these guys, what Rob's gonna do here, if he can stay in that DRS range all the way. Let's see what happens when on that start finish line. Of course, lots of speed that you can pick up here. He actually is. This actually started a few laps ago when he fell away a bit, and there, as I said, he falls away again. It's like Cam has just got this better drive through the S's. If Rob can actually stay with him through the S's and pick up a DRS detection, which is actually in this whole 4 section here, he will actually have a beautiful drive on this home straight and into that first section after the chicane. Because it looks like Cam is actually the faster car in the second part of the track. First part is all Rob. Gap now 1.2 seconds, but I suspect it's going to come down to below 1 second again in a short moment. But what must also be said, Cam is on much newer tyres compared to Rob. Rob playing the long game here, already 34 laps on those tyres. He and Jonathan already 35 as well. The two of them going very long on those tyres. This is the tyres that Rob actually put on when he had to stop early on that lap 1 after that opening incident into the first corner. He's really stretching it. Now of course pitting now, and if he put on the softer tyre again, he can actually have a couple of fast stints. Staying on board here for a little bit. Of course now the two of them approaching that whole ghost car of force. Then Nismax little piece gap now down to 8 seconds. And of course with that said, DW just falling away to Nismax. Gav actually, since while we're watching this whole battle here between Cam and Rob, Gav actually managed to to pass the Ferrari of Jonathan. Gav now only 3 seconds behind 80, so 80 will be his next guy to make position on. Of course, this is one of those fight back drives from Gav again after that early disconnect. Yellow flag. Oh, Rob, no. Oh, that's front wing damage. Oh no. Can it be that if that tyres actually came to the end of its life and actually threw him off target there? Or was it just a honest mistake? Now, and you can see that the front wing is definitely spaghetti beyond. I mean, there's no downforce there through those S's. Again, cutting the corner a bit. Of course, that will not help when you're trying to avoid these time penalties when it comes to street corner cutting. Of course, now he's just going to have to go new wing, new rubber, and just start the whole lining up process again. At least he's still got some gap to AD, so he should rejoin. And as I say, Gavpik actually overtake AD 77. Gavpik and Nismax definitely the two guys at the moment on the move. Gavpik now 24 seconds behind Rob, but Rob of course will now just by the pit. It's going to be interesting. Gavpik around to final. Rob still in the pits. Changing wing. No, Gavin is going to get the position here. Gavin is going to make it. And AD should also gain. Yeah, Rob now down to 8th position. Gav promoted to 6th with AD following in 7th. Thanks to that pit stop there. Of course, Rob would have had to stop soon looking at the lifespan of the amount of laps he did on those tyres. But of course, the front wing damage there would have actually caused him to stop probably earlier than anticipated. Gav now 34 seconds behind Cam for that 5th position. Cam now 8 seconds to Ivan, who's falling back further to DW. Nismax little piece gap now to just over 5 seconds. Of course, little pieces are already on lap 20 on those set of tyres, with Nismax only on lap 12. The guys really pushing the super softs tonight. Jonathan already on lap 38 on those set of tyres. Ivan now down to 5th position, of course, into the pits. Gavpik 42 seconds behind his teammate. Of course, it would be interesting to see what's going to happen. No problem, Wes. No problem. Just give me a shout out when you return back. And please feel free to share those comments. Of course, what I was saying is Gavpik now behind his teammate. Gap dropping. Will be interesting to see what's going to happen with Toro Rosso. If the team orders are pretty much the same as with Ferrari, and if Ivan will just move over or fight him. Nismax and little piece gap now under 4 seconds. Gavin really now driving the wheels of that Toro Rosso, making this ultra softs actually work. 16 laps old already. but the way he's going, it looks like there's no signs of it giving up as yet. Rob 2.9 seconds behind Gaff. Of course, he's now on the fresher ultra soft after that stop he made just a lap ago. So he should probably be gaining on Gaff, and looking at the time he is. Gaff, of course, at the same time gaining on Ivan. Right, lap 41 out of 71, so we got another 50 laps to go. Ooh, Cam again with another slide there. Ooh, an 80, pushing it very hard to the pits. Too hard actually. 5 second pits, 5 seconds penalty there for speeding in the pit lane. Meantime, right in the front, little pieces come in for new rubber. Oh, double stacking here behind his teammate. I don't think he suspected his teammate to be in the pits, so I had to wait there for 8077 to be serviced first. So that would have cost him some time. Nismax obviously gaining now, getting promoted to first position with that pit, and of course now with the little piece losing time with his teammate pitting at the same time, that will actually help Nismax actually building a gap. Little piece decided to go out on the ultra soft. If we look at some of the times, Jay Fernandez already 40 laps. That little piece didn't go as far on his super soft as some of the other guys. Perhaps it could also be because of the time that Nismax actually gained on him on the same tyre. So maybe if there was something wrong with those tyres, it maybe just didn't feel right for him. Gap now, little piece 20 seconds behind DW. DW 13 seconds. So as it is at the moment, Nismax actually have a pit stop advantage over Little Piece. So Little Piece obviously will be pushing on those softer tyres now. Just as much as Rob is doing now after he stopped, bringing the gap down even further to Gafpeak. Gafpeak now looks like the gap to him and his teammate Ivan actually stabilized a bit. So, but Gafpeak were also approaching another pit stop window here. Already did 18 laps on those ultra softs. So. Little piece gaining on DW, so definitely he's on the move. Gap already down to 18 seconds. Rob now 1.5 seconds behind Gafpeak. Little piece with another 3-second time penalty. Of course, this is also one thing we need to bear in mind. Those time penalties adding up at the end of a race. Of course, just following up, tying into some comments I made earlier about this track. The Grand Prix circuit underwent significant renovation, of course, under the direction of Herman Tilke for the return of Formula 1, which happened actually ultimately in 2015. The front straight was slightly extended and reprofiled, and the iconic S's between turns 7 and 13 were modified as well. The baseball field portion of the track was also altered to a low left-right combination that bypassed the first half of a Peraltada. So of course, as I mentioned earlier, initially the Peraltada was a high-speed corner, elevated slightly. Of course, later it was altered, and of course now with those slower corners being added, that actually gives you the layout at the moment as it is today. Right, and we got Rob now right in the back of Gaff. Rob in the slipstream, he will have DRS. Here we go, DRS open up. Diving in behind Gaff for some slipstream. Gaff diving on the inside, trying to defend. Rob driving on the outside, fresher rubber, DRS, yeah, and he makes it stick. Rob now up into 6th position, of course, now clawing his way back after that disconnection he had. Of course, his was not as severe as Gaff, who had to who dropped all the way down to the back and he actually got lapped. Rob now going in the 6th position on those ultra softs, and Gaff Peak also on ultra softs, but already 20 laps done on his. Can he just stay now with Rob and get that tail, and Rob can just pull him through? Little P's, there we go. Fresher rubber doing the business. All on this ultra softs are 1 minute 14. No, sorry, 1 minute 17. My bad. Getting excited here, looking at these times dropping already. Of course, where 1:14 was that qualifying times that those guys put. Of course, Wires with a blind overlap and Gaff Peak as well. 0.003 was the gap between the two of them. Right, Gaff Peak is actually staying with Rob, staying in DRS, so he will have his DRS open this time around. Lining up Rob, slipstream, DRS wide open, diving on the inside, Rob staying outside. No, just too far back. Not this time around, Gaff. Of course, Rob now 19 seconds behind Ivan, who's only now 6 seconds, and the gap still dropping to Cameron. DW losing time to both Little P's and Nismax. Nismax pulling away and Little P's gaining on him, but still having a solid race there, currently in 2nd position. If everything goes well and stays as is, that should be a guaranteed podium position today for DW. Gaff just staying there, staying with Rob. He's still in DRS range. Of course, through the detection zone, so he will have DRS again this time around. But it might just be a little too far back this time again. DRS wide open, but no, he's just too far back. Diving inside, but not no, just way too far back. Ivan now 4.7 seconds behind Cam. Little P is gaining even more on DW. Of course, if you look at the time, Little P is also gaining on Nismax. Of course, Nismax now on the older tyre, Little P is with a softer and newer tyres. J-Man now with a 3-second time penalty, but still keeping it strong there in 9th position at the moment, after he eventually pitted, currently running on those ultra softs. Looks like he might be pushing for a one-stopper. Rob still can't get away from Gaff Peak, who already did 22 laps on his tyres. Gaff still staying in that DRS range. This time slightly closer here, coming into the stadium section. Of course, we will now go through that detection zone. Onto the home straight we go. DRS will open shortly, but Gaff Peak lost a bit of time here through that latter part of the stadium section. That will place him again too far back. Even with DRS wide open, he will just be too far back this time. It looks like he's falling further and further back every lap that they come here. Because 2 laps ago he was right in the back of Rob. Previous lap, but further, now even more further back. Looks like his tyres might actually be approaching the end of its lifespan. Little P is now only 6 seconds behind DW, who's now 20 seconds behind Nismax. Ivan now under 3 seconds behind Cam, who's losing further time to Little P's. AD 42 seconds behind this Gaff Peak Rob battle. Rob running a bit wide there. Gaff Peak with a better line, with a better drive out of the corner, now right on Rob. Ivan now getting that 4th position with Cam coming into the pits. Gaff staying with Rob. Closer still now, 2nd part, and there again, just like before, that 2nd part, Rob is just quicker out of that 2nd part of that stadium section. Gav should still get DRS, but again further back even in the previous lap. Because that's coming past Rob now coming past Cam, and Gav will also Gav of course now stuck behind Cam. That will not please him. He was battling Rob. Rob managed to clear Cam getting out of the pits. Gav now stuck behind him. Of course Cam has got the fresher rubber, also non ultra softs, just got out of the pits. Gav is already on 24 laps. Oh, Gav runs wide. That tires really must be now at dropping off, because this will also get Rob. This will help Rob getting away from Gav. Gav trying to stay with him, but of course both these guys have got fresher rubber. Of course Cam just came out of the pits. Rob only 9 laps. Gav already 24 laps on those tires. Little P is now 3.3 seconds behind DW, who's now 22 seconds behind Nismax. Little P is really gaining on Nismax. Soon that extra pit stop will be out of a window. Lap 49 out of 71. Another 23 laps to go. Cam now having a look at Rob on the outside, and he's gonna make it stick. Nicely done, Cam. Clean racing from outside, clean in the corner, no contact. Nicely done, gentlemen, giving your history. Cam really driving a solid race tonight. Right up here with in the top 5. Don't know what happened in that Force India garage during the week, but it looked well. There was a few instances like the pit wall contact in qualifying. A few looked like close calls where he wanted to go barrier, but it looked like a different Cam tonight compared to last week's race. Look, I don't want to curse the guy, of course, with a commentator's curse, but it's a really solid drive. Of course, 22 laps to go. Let's see how this one pans out. Jonathan now 22 seconds behind AD in 8th, which is 24 seconds behind Gav. Gav now finally decided to get rid of those old ultra softs. Now doing it for him again. Of course, now out on the fresh rubber, we'll just restart this whole catching and build up again. With 21 laps to go. Looking at the times, well, looking at his time, looking at his amount of laps he did on his previous set of tires, he can definitely see this set through to the end of a race. Of course, bearing in mind if it's a new set and if it's worn, depends on the level of where you put on it previously. But all looking good for Gav not to stop again. Little piece now right with DW. There we go. DW is still currently in front at the moment. DW 30 laps on those tyres, where Little Piece only on 9 laps, and he's also on the softer tyre, so newer tyre and the softer tyre. So this should only be a matter of time. But of course, it's one thing catching a guy, it's another thing passing him. Little Piece now right on the tail of DW. Also, we'll see who's going to get the cleaner drive out of his next sequence of corners. Of course, as we saw with that Rob Gav battle a few moments ago. Of course, the first part and the second part of that sequence is something else. Little Piece right with DW, staying right in that rear. Oh, almost Little Piece, nicely done, nicely done. That was almost the front wing in the back of DW's car. That could have easily been like a puncture for DW and front wing damage to Little Piece, which would have ruined his race. Last thing you want now is to lose downforce on this track. He will now just line up DW. They will definitely have a DRS. There we go. DRS wide open, coming up, slipstream drive on the inside. Now have a decides he's going to go outside rather, and he makes it stick. He will go into the corner first. DW made going on the inside. Last moment he had to change his approach and dive to the outside because DW actually defended that inside line. Of course, the little piece now he's done 10 laps on this tyres with Nismax 24 laps on his super soft. Of course, super soft being the harder tyre is also more durable, so it will last longer. So there's still some life in those super softs left. Of course, you know, with 20 laps to go, looks like this Max will come with a quick stint to finish this race. So softer tyres. Gav now 1:17.2 here. Obviously the fresh rubber is doing the business for him. The gap now 17 seconds to Rob. Rob now 2 seconds behind Cam. Ivan at the moment sitting solidly in 4th with Cam in 5th. Of course, Rob can have his own ideas now here. As we say that, DW decided enough with a set of tyres. He's coming in, which should also be his final stop. DW now going on those ultra softs, definitely also a faster stint towards the end of the race. So that should pretty much be Gav Peak done and DW done with their pit stops. Of course, unless something of course out of the ordinary happened. That will bring Ivan right to the back of DW after that stop. But of course Ivan is on the slower tyre and of course his tyre is already 13, the set's already 13 laps old. DW now with the softer tyres and much newer tyres. Of course there's a couple of time penalties again. Jay Fernandez now 24 seconds behind AD, who's 34 seconds behind Gav. Gav gaining more on Rob now 15 seconds. Of course Ivan still there with DW. Oh, and Ivan goes a bit wide there. But he managed to keep it all together, still staying there with DW. Of course that will bring him in, of course, in the DRS, because he will pick up DRS now as we approach the detection. And the same as again with earlier battles with other cars, the first part of that sequence of corners is something else, because DW actually gained massive time out of that second part of that corner sequence. That will actually then also put Ivan out of DRS now next time round. And looking at the tyres, the different compounds, the length, the amount of laps, that should allow DW now to start pulling away from Ivan. And of course now DW would have his tyres up to temperature. And Gav Peak now with a 1:16.8. Gav Peak really now on the move again with those new ultra softs. Gap down to 13 seconds to Rob. Now DW now moving 2.5 seconds ahead of Ivan, so that should be P3. Of course, right up front, it's all about this Nismax little piece battle. Okay, gaps dropped a bit, but stable actually at 22 seconds between Nismax and Little Piece. DW now more than 3 seconds ahead of Ivan. Cammy 11 seconds behind Ivan. Rob just 3.4 and all of a sudden 6 seconds. Where was the mistake? No, Rob actually coming to the pits. Which will also be his last stop. Watch Rob going. Looks like it's going to be another ultra soft. Yeah, Rob going out on another set of ultra softs. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. Much better camera view. Yeah, Rob is out on a fresh set of ultra softs. That would have promoted Gav Peak now to position 6. He already did 6 laps on his set of tyres as he stopped a few laps earlier. but he don't need to stop again. Rob obviously also now also completed his final stop. So that would be DW pretty much done, Gav Big done, and Rob done, of course, unless something out of ordinary happens. Jay Fernandez, of course, with a long stint on the Super Soft. Looking at the duration and the possible lifespan of his Ultra Softs, I think Jonathan also completed his pit stop. He's definitely going to go that one stop route. Actually, the only guy who did a one stop. Rob going a little bit wide there. Okay, gap to Little Piece Nismac came down a little bit more, but not much. It's still around about the 22-second mark. It's just a little bit. Of course, it's going to be interesting. Does Nismac push his tyres right to the end with like 15 laps to go, or does he make a late stop and go on to maybe even perhaps Hypers, because there's only like 15 laps left. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Okay, no real close gaps going on at the moment. Was Rob now just to try to catch up with Gav again. Gav now taking out time out of Cameron. Okay, yeah, we definitely stable in front time wise, still 22 seconds and then DW 21 seconds. Ivan now falling further behind to DW. Gav definitely gaining there on Cam. Now gaps down to 12 seconds. Looks like that might be our next battle. But Gav, Cam and then even Rob. Because Rob also gained some time with DW now with a 3-second time penalty. Which is a bit unreal. That's not something that you see often. Also, didn't see much of time penalties from Gaffney tonight. He also kept it clean. Of course, he had to push hard, fighting all the way back from the final row. I mean, all the way right to the back after the disconnect, and he actually managed to keep it clean while fighting so hard. Well done, Gaff. Of course, guys, I gave you guys a shout out last week with regards to driver of the day. I'm going to ask you again. If you guys have any suggestions of driver of the day, please feel free to share your comments, please. 14 laps remaining, so that's actually a good time to start thinking about your driver of the day. Gap now under 22 seconds between Nismac and Little Piece. With now 13 laps remaining, it's possible that Nismac might try to see the Super Softs right to the end. Of course, 31, look at Jonathan earlier with a 40 laps on it. Going to be pushing because he's only like 9 laps away and there's 13 left. But also Little Piece did 17 laps on his Ultra Soft, so if you look at the wear type or the compound type durability, it's pretty much even Stevens, which is also why that gap is not decreasing really rapidly. DW now with that said actually gained there on Little Piece, and Little Piece also with another time penalty. Ivan now 10 seconds behind with Cameron, now less than 10 seconds behind him. Gav now actually under 10 seconds behind Cameron, and Rob still 9 seconds. So Rob not really gaining on Gav, but Gav definitely gaining on Cameron. If things stays as it is, it definitely looks like DW will be third, and with 8 and 9th already confirmed as well with AD and Jay Fernandez. Of course, it's going to be who's going to be winning, looking at Nismax and Little Piece, and of course, there's mid runners between Ivan, Cam, Gav, and Rob. I suspect a few positions will still change there before we conclude this race. Of course, just 12 laps remaining. Gav now just over 8 seconds behind Cam. Cam is now just under 9-ish, still behind Ivan. Rob now managed to bring the gap to Gav Peak to under 9 as well. Looks like we're back to definitely 8 and 9 is confirmed. I don't see these guys making up 42 seconds in the last 11 laps, so that's pretty much confirmed. I also believe third position is definitely confirmed. It's just who we're going to get to win this race, because the gap is actually came down a bit now. Just under 22, it's just now over 21. DW might actually, if DW, unless that fresher rubber actually can do the business for him, but again, the gap is coming down not quick enough. With only 12 laps remaining, you need that time to come down with like more than a second a lap. Cameron now with a 3-second time penalty. Gav now just under 7 seconds behind him. Thank you, Guitar Life. And he actually had some good battles as well, yes. That's definitely one of our favorites. I mean, if you also look, just to remind us, I mean, yeah, it shows only, well, actually it's still 6, because he gained right from the back actually, and he actually gained those 6 positions, and he pretty much stayed there in the midfield right through. Had a couple of close battles with several of the guys, kept it clean. No, that's definitely good, one of our favorites. Of course, actually both Toro Rossos, because there was Gavin as well. Right from first position, disconnect right to the back, and he actually bring it, and now he's currently now in 6th position. So strong drive from both Toro Rosso drivers. Right, Cam now still just over 8 seconds. Gav definitely the guy, just going through that ghost vehicle, that ghost Mercedes. Gav now just over 5 and closing on Cam. That 5th position is definitely going to be under threat soon. Which we can still see the Toro Rossos and ending back to back. Gap now to between Nismax and Little Piece is under 21. It's actually under 20.5. 10 laps remaining, including this one. Now it looks like Nismax definitely decided he's going to finish with these tires. .7 seconds, and you lost a bit of time now to Ivan. So Ivan keeping it steady. Of course, the Avatar Rosso Gav Peak is gaining on Cam. And DW also gained a bit time there on Little Piece, but again, as mentioned earlier, not enough to be challenging for that position right at the end. Yeah, no real battles going on. Definitely, the only battle we're going to see soon is definitely Gav Peak coming up to Cam. Of course, no love lost there as well. 2.7 now, and gaining. Actually, now there's all of a sudden a big chunk. Cam had to make some sort of mistake there. There was probably some mistake there. Yeah, here we go. Cam lost some more time there to Ivan. Gav Peak now under 2 seconds behind Cam. Gav now for the moment still staying just in the early 20s between the leaders. Jay Fernandez now with another 3-second time penalty. His penalty is really going to come into the mix, and from what I saw, that's going to actually kill Little Piece. So based on time penalties and as it is now, I think top 3 might actually be confirmed. Unless of course anything still happen, which can, and it normally does. Gavner right in the back of Cam. DRS goes wide open. In the slipstream of Cam. Cam going on, staying on the outside. Gav taking the inside line. Gav have a better tyres, better run, and he will take the position. Gav up to 5th position now. We've got Toro Rosso times 2 in the top 5. Well done, both Toro Rosso drivers. Gav just 8.9 seconds behind his teammate. And really, of course, he's definitely the man on the move. DW now just 16 seconds behind Little Piece. Of course, if you look at the front runners, DW does have a fresher rubber. Can he actually make some time up in these last few laps? 7 laps to go, including this one, of course. Cam with another time penalty. Of course, again, that will come into play at the end of this race. Ivan now just coming onto the final straight here to cross and start a new lap. And of course Gavin just coming now around the corner again, just to put in perspective what that 7.3 second gap is between the two. You see Ivan just going to the first corner, and yeah, Gav comes now approaching the first corner. Cam now already 2.5 seconds behind Gav. On that super soft of 20, which done 25 laps, looks like Ivan actually have an answer for Gav Peak, at least for this time being. But it all depends on how quick Gav Peak makes time. 6 laps remaining, and I mean, if it's a second a lap, it's gonna be close right at the end, even sooner. DW now less than 15.5 seconds. Gap between Little Piece and this makes is now under 20 seconds. Of course, for DW to really make inroads, you're looking at almost 3 seconds a lap that you need to gain. Of course, just going some throwback again. Of course, we all remember the A1 Grand Prix series. Of course, they also raced here before. They actually started racing here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in the 2006-2007 season, and they used the full track configuration used by Formula One. Of course, as we know, the Mexico Grand Prix was scheduled for earlier actually. Oh, sorry, we'll just see there's a yellow flag out. Okay, it's cleared. Little Piece, no, Little Piece is out. Little Piece is out. That's the yellow flag. That was the yellow flag. Little Piece retire. DW gets promoted to 2nd position, which means Ivan will actually go on to 3rd position. And of course Gavin chasing him down for that podium. Little Piece retired. Oh, so close, but yet so far. Damn it. As I said before, anything can happen, and usually does. My word. That ugly commentator's curse. Nesmaxman will definitely pick up first place here unless he now really, because DW, that's too much of a gap to breach with only 5 laps to go. Ivan 17 seconds, it's about him and his teammate for that last podium position. We'll see who's going to be the most hungry for it, and of course, who puts who first? Do they put the team first, or are they going to be selfish and go for it and risk take each other out? Anyway, getting back to that whole Mexico trivia again. Of course, we expected the Mexico Grand Prix to return sooner. It was actually announced that the Mexico Grand Prix will return from 2013 in a 5-year deal, but of course, as we know, that didn't happen. Of course, it was set to replace the European Grand Prix, which was at the time held in Valencia. Of course, as I mentioned way earlier in this broadcast, we actually saw the return of the Mexican Grand Prix only in 2015. In fact, that race was held on the 1st of November 2015. So which is Tuesday, almost 3 years ago. Little, but you know, as we say, rather late than never. So welcome back, Mexico. Still a decent track, testing as we saw tonight again. Meantime, the gap between the two Toro Rossos came down to 2.5. 4 laps remaining. Okay, AD now managed to pass that little piece retire vehicle, so he gets 7th position. And there we go, as we talk, Jonathan also managed. So we're down to 8 runners remaining, because 7th and 8th then will be confirmed, 1st will be confirmed, 2nd is confirmed. I think the only real change we're going to see here is those two Toro Rossos which we're seeing here, this battle lining up. Gav picked now just over a second, and of course with this rate he will actually already pick up DRS in that stadium section. Of course, unless Ivan can just gain some time actually throughout the sequence of corners. Oh, well, this is going to be nip and tuck. Let's hope they don't do anything silly. Think about the bigger picture, all about the team. Gav now right in that slipstream of Ivan. Gav did actually pick up the DRS, he does on the inside, and it's going to be too easy. Gav obviously on the much fresher rubber, of course, softer tyre as well. Was ultra soft, super soft, of course super soft, there's just no chance. And Gav have been the guy on the move most of his race, and fastest lap also belonged to him. But still one amazing drive from Ivan tonight. Guitar Life, I'm actually going to go with you, driver of the day, Ivan, but as much as I hate doing it, I'm actually going to go joint. I think both Toro Rosso drivers deserve it. Both of them actually turned at the back of the grid, and they both made it to the front. It's a pity that one of them can't have podium, because both of them deserve that podium position. Right, lap 70 out of 71. One more to go after this. Rob now actually lining up Cam. We might actually have another battle here later during the race, because these two going at it again. Of course, as mentioned earlier, there's no love lost between these two. Let's see how it pans out this time. Rob should get DRS. There we go, wide open, lining up in the slipstream car. Cam dives on the inside, Rob on the outside. Rob with a much better drive, and he actually makes it stick. Rob up to 5th position now. I must give it to all drivers. There was actually no real funny incidents, except for that first corner on lap 1 incident, just after the start, of course. Several guys made some contact there, but after that I haven't seen any other incidents where guys didn't leave anyone enough space or run up to each other, etc. Nice clean race. Well done, gentlemen. And we got our leaders now into the final lap. Here we go. Nesmax now into the second section. Right, here we go. Last through these S's. Nice shot here, nice clean drive here from Nismax. 43 laps done on those super softs. Definitely a couple of good drives tonight, but my drive of the day will definitely be both Toro Rossos. And if there can be a team of the day, it will definitely be them as well. Gelled as well as a team, no funny business when they came to it. And Nismax weaving over the finish line, and he takes this win, second in a row. Well done, Nismax. Just waiting for DW. It's also now coming through the stadium section. And DW brings it to home in second. Speaking of those Toro Rosso boys, waiting for both of them. Both of them through the stadium section. Gav now onto the final corner. Gav actually brings it down for another podium. Like I said, it's a pity that only one of them can get a podium. There we go, Rob finishing now in 5th position. There we go, everybody finished. Now it's also for seeing how those time penalties pan out, but I think this is pretty much the positions. Interesting part would have been in the front, but of course now with retirement that doesn't really change much. There we go, onto the podium for all the after work, after race necessities. That's just bad luck, mate, really. Because you really could have pushed him right to the end and you were gaining little by little and his tyres were actually going. Damn it, unlucky, so close to the end. But really a good race from you as well. Definitely. Well, you also would have deserved this. Hard. Yeah, well, it happens. It happens to most of us, best of us. Just, you know what, just put it behind you. Next race you'll bounce back. But still, you can take a lot from this race. Solid race. Well done. Gav Peak, Nismax DW. Wow. First time penalties really now coming into play. Gav Peak actually gets promoted to first with Nismax second and DW to third. I did mention earlier I didn't see any time penalties coming up for Gav Peak, and this actually plays into his advantage. But I don't see time penalties for Nismax, so it's possibly not. This can just also be a little connection issue. And the thing is, the gap between this DW, I don't think that's correct. Well done there to winner Wolfie and Staffy for your top 3 for tier 2 as well. I'll be back with you guys in just a second. I just want to get our top 3 guys here quickly. Right, as I mentioned just quickly before I got out there to get our top 3 here, we have Ronald winning tier 2, second win in a row. We got Wolf in second position and we've got Staffy there in third. Well done, gentlemen. I don't think that was an easy one, especially if some rain came down during that race. Hey, those penalties there. That penalties was something different. Ach no, now it looks like we got connection issues. Oh no. Nismax did manage to join us, but it looks like we're not going to be able to talk to him tonight. Let's see if we can get some of our other guys. There we go. Get down for you. Ah, there we go. We got now we got Nismax. Now we can hear him. We got DW also in here. We're just waiting for Gav Peak. And there was just confirmation there. That timing at the end was actually incorrect. Your top three as they finished is actually the top three.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Nismax, DW, Gafpik. Because even if you look at the time penalties, time and the gap between you guys when you finish, the time penalties doesn't make it up. So
Yeah,
no,
Nismax,
DW, Gafpik, definitely. Gentlemen, welcome. What a race, all three of you. Nismax, I must say, a little piece kept you honest. I mean, you had to work for it. You had to keep a clean head. Nice tragedy in the end. DW solid as a rock as always. I mean, keeping it clean. Gaff, one hell of a race again from disconnecting. Nismax, some early contact. First corner, you got bumped from behind to a force, sending you early stop. I mean, at that stage, you didn't think, oh man, come on, what's my chances of winning? Here we go again. I mean, but what a recovery and actually coming back. Please give us thoughts from your side.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what happened at the first corner. I think someone probably overshot the braking point there. But yeah, as you said, had to go in to change the wing again, and then I actually did a lot of fuel saving for that first stint, quite fast. And then as soon as I went onto the super softs, I turned it up. Put it into party mode, as they would say.
And why the stint on those super softs? 40 plus laps. But of course, your teammate actually made it work for you as well, because your teammate even also 40 odd laps on his super softs. The Ferrari boys really did it tonight on the super softs.
Yeah, I think actually Jonathan helped me also to keep up little piece there at some stage. So yeah, it was good.
Time the gap coming down at the end, but not fast enough. So it was always coming down to those time penalties. But you kept it clean. Of course, as you mentioned, someone did outbreak themselves, but it all ended well in the end. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much, and congratulations to the other top 3 guys.
Nice one, Dirk.
DW, of course. Nice. Again, one of those guys, as always, long stints on all of your stints, very long. I mean, if you look at your number of laps, at the end you had the better tyre, but of course not making inroads quite fast enough. But in some way, lucky to get that second position because you were set for third position. But awesome drive again, solid as a rock, as I said. Just give us the thoughts from your side.
Well, I had a heart attack in turn 1. I think the Merc hit Dirk. And then I had to swerve out. And once I got back to the track, Cam got me and I clipped my wing. So I had to do the entire first stint with a broken wing, basically. And then I just lost too much. But anyway, I wasn't on the pace of these guys. So I just thought by myself, if I get a top 3 position, I'll be happy with that. And I must say, it was IGN Ivan. My fight was actually with him. He pushed me for the third place.
And in the end, that actually not being on the pace, you actually, towards the end, it actually played into your hands because you did gain. And I mean, if the race was maybe a bit longer, it could have been interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And speaking of which, as you said...
I must say, Gavpik and Nismax, I think they were on another level pace-wise.
But I must say, as you said, Ivan, definitely he pushed you because several times you guys battled and he had some good battles tonight and he was driving the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, so well done for them.
Gavpik, again, just like race 1. Right in front, disconnect all the way to the back, having to fight your way back again. What a brilliant drive. Again, pushing, driving the wheels out of a Toro Rosso, keeping it clean. Actually, I didn't see any time penalties for you even tonight.
Yeah, too bad about the disconnect. Yeah, clean race. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, but you know what? But unlike race 1 where I gave you driver of the day for that disconnect fight back, tonight you're going to have to share it with your teammate because both Toro Rossos at one stage, Ivan even were at the back of the grid. So both Toro Rossos turned at the back and then fought their way up the grid. So my drivers of the day tonight is both Gavpik and Ivan, both Toro Rossos.
Thanks.
Well done, Gav.
Thanks, Dirk. Nice
James, any last comments from your side?
Yes, I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. It was a long race.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes proceedings here. thank you so much for watching. Until next time, y'all. amper weer.